What's up, kings and queens? It's your boy Dan from Daft Previews. I got 4 picks already put down, which we're going to take you through today. If that sounds interesting, let's go.
Sub to the channel because your boy's getting busy. Coming to you live from the west side of Sydney. We've got the free picks and the juice on the daily. It's all free, you don't even have to pay me.
Before we get into today's picks, we've got to recap the picks from the last video. 4 bets that I shared with you guys went 1 and 3. What a horrible way to end the winning run. VIP was even worse. 8 units in the negative yesterday. A bad day in VIP, it looks exactly like that. It's 8 units down because of the strategy that we run. A good day looks like 30 plus units. And we had a bad day yesterday, and I'm not going to hide it. Death, taxes, and getting rinsed after a big day, it always seems to happen. So today sucked. I had some bad reads. I had some bad luck. And what makes it all worse is that a lot of you guys probably tailed more of my picks than you normally would. But being serious with you guys, I've been in a pretty good place. I wasn't overconfident after we had the great day. Had a bad day today, and I'm not lacking confidence. So done what I normally did. Stick to my process, bankroll management, same strategy that I'm running with. And I got 4 different picks for you today. But let's recap everything that I went through today. Onyeka Okongwu, over 1.5 assists. I had so much conversations and deep dives around handoffs. And that was honestly an awful bet. And the thing that I messaged out to VIB today was this. Just because you know how things happened in the past doesn't mean it's going to happen again in the future. So the mistake that I made there with Okongwu is I spent a lot of time analyzing the last game that they played against Phoenix, where he had 6 assists, which using common sense was a complete outlier. I should have looked into a wider spread of data instead of really honing into recent form. That was a bad pick, bad analysis, too narrow-sighted on that one. My bad if you tailed that. I'm pretty disappointed about that pick. We had Derek Lively over 3.5 assists, more handoff action. Unfortunately, Derek Lively gets injured in the first 4 minutes. DeJounte Murray over 22.5 points and rebounds. He gets hooked. We get hooked. He finishes on 22. He did see enough volume. His shot percentage was awful. I spoke about how his shot percentage had improved after he hurt his elbow. Wasn't there today. He only made 3-pointers. He missed every 2-point attempt that he took. Quite a strange box score if you're looking at percentages there. But I didn't hate that bet, but it is what it is. And then Russell Westbrook over 13.5 points. He took 11 shots in 26 minutes. Blowout win. Believe it or not, Russell Westbrook took the second most shots in that Denver team. Jamal Murray goes absolutely crazy. Every starter for the Denver Nuggets goes under their points line. I don't think anyone could have predicted that. I don't feel too hard done by it. But this last one, I bet on Kyrie Irving over 2.5 3-pointers made. And this was a terrible bet. I over-relied on data and matchups. I didn't apply any common sense. I was betting on a player who was returning from injury. And 99% of the times, I would avoid that. I don't know. Is it my affinity for Kyrie Irving? Was I excited to see him back on the court? Possibly. Was I overly optimistic? Probably. But I honestly believe that I just relied too much on the data and I just, wasn't thinking. So that was a terrible bet on my behalf. We did hit some winners relatively easy. Mobley over 8.5 rebounds. Cash out sweat free. Giannis over 18.5 rebounds and assists. Mucked around and got a triple-double. That was pretty easy. And then Evan Mobley, we had a value play on him. That was for him to get 15 points and 10 rebounds at plus 200. Nothing too exciting. But I've spent a lot of time taking a dive into the slate. We do have some big storms happening around Sydney at the moment and New South Wales where I live. Lost power for a second. It's been somewhat awful. So I do have a couple of leans that I'll take you through as well, but this video shouldn't be too long because I don't know how long this power is going to stay on for. But enough about that. Let's get into today's picks. Let's go. Jumping into props madness the way that we always do. This is the best tool you're going to find if you like betting on NBA player props. I encourage you guys to check it out. 7-day free trial in the video description below. You'll get 25% off if you use the code DAFT when you happen to sign up. Now, there is a ton of games on this slate of the NBA. There's a lot of them. It was overwhelming to look at. And I only managed to come up with 4 bets that I actually like. And part of the reason for that is in a lot of these games, there's a lot of back-to-backs. There's a lot of game time decisions. And I managed to sift through everything, nailed my favorite 4, sharing all of that with you guys today. For those of you in VIP, I may not put too many extra plays out, maybe 2 maximum. I'm not liking too much of what I'm seeing on this slate. I'll just say that real quick. But the first pick, let's get straight to this. Going with a man in the thumbnail. Got Orlando versus the Bucks, and I'm betting on Giannis Antetokounmpo today, just taking his over 29.5 points. 30 plus. It's available at 28.5 in some places, but I'm just going straight to the 30 plus here. That's going to be the widely available line. And Giannis over this line in 17 out of his last 27, 31.4 as an average. The last time these guys faced each other was, less than a week ago. That was the stupid game where I bet on Chris Middleton. I bet on Chris Middleton's assists because this is how stupid I am sometimes. I bet on Chris Middleton's assists because I was confident Giannis was going to have a strong scoring game, and I believe that Chris Middleton was going to be the one getting some assists. Chris Middleton didn't get those assists. Giannis had a massive scoring game. So I'm not going to do that stuff anymore. I'm just going to go straight to the source here. Giannis over his points prop. And why is that? This is very simple for me. He's killed the Orlando Magic for the last 3 years. If we just look at the last 2 years, this season, 37 and 41 points. And then if you look at last season, Giannis killing him, 35 and 37 points. The whole reason is this. The Orlando Magic will play Giannis one-on-one. They allow a ton of points in isolation. They'll foul him, get him to the free throw line. They'll try to limit as many three-pointers as possible. Giannis will eat down low. It's as simple as that. His matchup is great. His form against his opponent is great. His form against him this year is fantastic. If you wanted to get a little bit more detail around it, this game's being played at home for Milwaukee and Giannis at home, averaging 34 points this season. On the road, only 27. So Giannis should score a lot of points today. Give you another value bomb here. I'm taking Giannis for over 35 points as well. I've got half a unit on that. So there's a value play that I've already shared with VIP. That one's very straightforward and simple. We're just taking Giannis. The next one, heading over to the Dallas Mavericks versus the New Orleans Pelicans. Now, both of these teams are on a back-to-back. So I wouldn't say anyone necessarily has an advantage here. Regardless, I'm taking an under in this one. Going with this man, Yves Missy. Now this, I've spoken about this in so many videos, how I'm leaning to his under. I haven't been taking it, and he keeps going under. So today I am. And we're looking at points and rebounds under 17.5 for Yves Missy. He's under this in 5 consecutive games. Pretty good hit rate on the season, and he's hitting it better than 50% of the time. But the reason why I like it is ever since Zion came back, this man has been getting close. These are all of his games with Zion Williamson this season. Zion's been back, played 4 games. Yves Missy under in all 4 games since Zion came back. He's averaging 11.3 points and rebounds with Zion in the lineup. Matchup here against Dallas. It's not an easy one for him. The Dallas Mavericks, they limit points in that restricted area quite well, and in the paint. Yves Missy should have a somewhat difficult time. He likes to score in the pick and roll. Dallas, 6 fewest points in the pick and roll. The matchup is difficult enough for me to feel confident to take the under. I wanted to take the under against the Chicago Bulls, but you'd be crazy to take an under against the Chicago Bulls because they don't even play defense. My man ends up only playing 17 minutes and going under anyway. So I do like Yves Missy to go under his points and his rebounds, 17.5. That's a pretty straightforward one. Pretty simple. No mucking around there. The next one, we're looking at the Charlotte Hornets versus the Utah Jazz. And as much as I want to bet on my boy Mark Williams again, I did consider it. I did consider LaMelo as well. We're just going with this man, Walker Kessler. And I'm looking at his rebounds prop today, looking at over 11.5 boards. Now, he's only hit this in 13 out of his last 27 games, averaging 11.6 rebounds per game. This Utah Jazz team committed to the tank, resting almost everybody. But the main things that I'm really looking for is games without Lauri Markkanen and John Collins. So these are the guys, probably the second and third best rebounders in the team. And he's only played 2 games without them, 12 and 17. If we split these up, we'll do these individually. So this is without both of them. He's averaging 14.5 boards, 12 against Denver, 17 against Orlando. Games just without John Collins, we've got a bigger sample size, over in 7 out of 10, 13 rebounds per game. And if we look at games just without Lauri Markkanen, he's over in 5 out of 6 games, 14.5. So safe to say when these guys aren't out there, Walker Kessler is going to get more minutes, more opportunities to get boards. Up against the Charlotte Hornets today, they allow the 13th most rebounds in the league. Now, as of late, if you wanted to get into more recent form, I like looking at like the teams in their last 15 games to give me a more recent sample. The Charlotte Hornets, they allow the second most rebounds to centers in the league over their last 15 games. You can see if we just sort this out by position here, we'll see a lot of centers have had a great time against them. Jared Allen, Isaiah Stewart, Jalen Duren, Nikola Vucevic, Hartenstein, Valanciunas. All of that has happened in the last 2.5 weeks. They've all covered their rebound line against them. The only person who hasn't gone over them in recent times was Mason Plumlee. He saw limited minutes the last time they played. Outside of that, a lot of centers been feasting on the boards against the Charlotte Hornets team. Mark Williams, Nick Richards, very similar. They don't stray too far away from the rim. Walker Kessler is going to be in great position to get boards all night. He should see close to 30 minutes in this one, and I reckon he can have a massive rebound game against them. My last pick, and we're heading to the Golden State Warriors versus Minnesota Timberwolves. And in this one, I'm going with a bet that I've shared on this channel a few times, and I even have a story to go with it. We're looking at Julius Randle today, looking to take him for over 6.5 rebounds against the Golden State Warriors. He's hit this in 14 out of 27 games, 7.2 rebounds in that time span. And why do I love this? Well, the head-to-head form is excellent, 9, 11, and 7, averaging 9 rebounds per game against the Golden State Warriors. And why do I like Julius Randle in this one, and why have I been betting on it? Well, let me go through this story once again. The first time that these teams played on December 7th, I bet on Rudy Gobert to go over his rebounds prop. Now, in that particular game, I watched it and I almost cried through frustration. Rudy Gobert saw a ton of minutes. The Golden State Warriors missed a ton of shots. Rudy Gobert was barely getting any rebounds because he was attempting to block everything. Julius Randle, Naz Reid were eating on the boards because the Golden State Warriors were attacking Rudy Gobert every single opportunity they had, and that took him out of rebound position. So it was extremely frustrating for me to watch that game. And then in the fourth quarter, the Minnesota Timberwolves really started to clamp them up, blow them out, and then Rudy Gobert went crazy in that fourth quarter, scoring a ton of points, getting a ton of rebounds. I still won that bet, but it was extremely frustrating for me to watch. Then the following 2 games, I bet Julius Randle over 6.5 rebounds, and he's delivered every single time. So I'm pretty much running it the same way. This Warriors team's closer to full strength. No Kuminga, sorry. But Steph Curry looks like he's going to play. Draymond, questionable. But I think this game stays close. I think Randle still gets a lot of minutes. I think Rudy Gobert still tries to block everything that comes his way. I still think the Warriors attack Rudy Gobert on switches in any pick and rolls. They'll attack him, and he won't be in the best position to get some boards, which means someone like a Julius Randle, Naz Reid, they should have very strong rebounding games. I'm going with Julius Randle. He's been more consistent out of the 2. He's guaranteed to get more minutes and more opportunities. So Julius Randle over 6.5 boards. Give me that. The Golden State Warriors, not a great rebounding team, haven't been all season. So I do like what I see here. So Julius Randle, very simple one, over 6.5 boards for my man. So pumping the brakes real quick before I take you through some leans. There's a couple of other bets that I did really like, but I found a reason not to bet them, but that doesn't mean I can't share them with you. Before we do get there, I do ask you to like the video, subscribe to the channel. We just hit 24,000 subscribers. Let's go, the Mamba. I ask that you drop me a comment down below. Any comment, good or bad, is going to help this video go out to more people. For everybody who does that, I honestly do thank you, and I appreciate it. And also for anyone who wants to get access to my VIP picks for free, giving out a trial if you sign up with Vivid Picks. I do have links for that in the video description below. If you sign up with them, make a $5 deposit, send me an email. I'll give you the VIP trial, plus I'll enter you into a draw to win $100 US. Once we hit 50 referrals, 3 people will be winning some cash. But enough about that. Let's get into these leans. Let's go. All right, the first one that I was strongly considering getting here was on Jason Tatum. Now, as much as I don't like Jason Tatum, we try to put our emotions aside when it comes to betting, and I got a great bet for you here. It does come with a risk, though. So for Jason Tatum, looking at his rebounds, over 8.5, you're getting excellent odds here on Bet Online. Plus 106, Ladbrokes, minus 122, DraftKings, minus 125. Still something that I'd consider taking, if I'm being honest with you guys. But let me explain the reasons why. He's got a 20 out of 27 hit rate this season, which is pretty good. But check this out. In games with Kristaps Porzingis, Jason Tatum's an absolute beast. With Porzingis in the lineup this season, he's over this line in 10 out of 13 games. So he's got an excellent hit rate with Kristaps Porzingis in the lineup. Without Kristaps Porzingis, you see the opposite. Without Porzingis, he's averaging 8.6 boards per game. So rebounds a lot better with KP in the lineup at 8.5. I think it's a terrific bet. My only concern in this one, potential blowout here. 13.5 point spread. Emmanuel Quickley's out for the Toronto Raptors. That's my main concern here. And if I lose another bet on Jason Tatum, then I might start getting emotional about it. And I don't need more emotions in my life. But that's one that I strongly considered. I was honestly just going to play him for a double-double. You get that at plus money, or you can just play 10 rebounds. That's at plus money as well. The other play that I was looking at is in the Bucks and the Magic game. And I was going to look at Dame. I'm going to take Dame's over 23.5 points. I strongly considered this. The only reason I'm not taking this, to be honest with you, is because I'm already betting on Giannis. If I wasn't betting on Giannis, I'd be betting on Dame. I think they both go over their points prop today. And why do I think that? Well, Dame, very similar to Giannis, has had success against the Magic, 28 and 29 points against them in both games this season. The Magic, great defensive team. What they're not good at is defending in the pick and roll. You can see here they allow the 7th most points to pick and roll ball handlers. They allow a ton of points in isolation as well. Damian Lillard can score in both ways. His volume is high when they match up. He gets to the free throw line. He shoots at a decent percentage, between 40 and 50%, and he covers his line like an absolute beast. So I don't think that changes today. I do like Damian Lillard over his points proper 23.5, but I'm already running with Giannis. Let's try to mitigate some risk here. Don't want to bet on 2 players on the same team, on the same prop. Not the smartest thing to do if you're thinking about winning profit long term, but I do like it. Pick one of them or pick none. I'll leave it up to you. The other player that I was thinking about is running back Russell Westbrook. Looking at his over in 14.5 points. I did bet he's over 13.5 in that most recent game. He only finished on 9. Basically, since he's been into the starting lineup, he's been scoring like a beast. His volume's been fantastic. His percentages have been okay. Didn't happen in the last game because Jamal Murray went crazy and there was a blowout. But up against this Houston Rockets team, I don't see that happening. It's a 1.5 point spread. It's a difficult matchup for Jamal Murray. And it's an excellent matchup for Russell Westbrook. So if you're thinking about it, when these Rockets played the Memphis Grizzlies, and I bet on Ja Morant. What did I tell you guys? For people like a Ja Morant or Russell Westbrook, they're going to let them drive to the rim, let them play one-on-one. They're going to force them into difficult layups. Russell Westbrook loves taking those. I wouldn't say that he's great at making them, but the volume should be there. They're going to stay home. They're not going to let him get it out to shooters all too often. They'll give Jokic a hard time. They'll double team him. Russ can cut. Russ can see volume in this, and I think he can bounce back after a slower game, I would say, against Dallas. I do like it. You can even see it here on Props Madness. Similar types of players as Russell Westbrook in terms of their scoring profiles. They've been killing this line against Houston Rockets as of late. So I do like Russell Westbrook. I was very close to running that back. The other bet, I've got 2 of them. They're both in this game, actually. There's 3. So 2 others. And they're both in the Houston Rockets. This one's a very easy one. It's Jalen Green over his points prop, 23.5. He's over this in 5 consecutive games. The key reason for this is Jabari Smith Jr. is out. I've run through this the last 2 times, actually. He's hit this in 5 straight games, 31 points as an average, up against Denver. Not the best defensive team. Now, I will say this. Jalen Green has a somewhat difficult matchup here in terms of the pick and roll stuff. The Denver Nuggets limit points in the pick and roll quite well. 5th fewest points to the pick and roll ball handler. That's where Jalen Green likes to score a ton of his points, but he can get out in transition, can be a spot-up shooter. This is predicted to be a high-scoring game. 231 is a total point. Total, the hell? Why did that seem so hard? Total point, total. Total points. The line's high, so it should be a lot of points here. I think Jalen Green can definitely cover this 23.5. I don't know how Denver are going to play him exactly. He's been hitting it at an amazing rate. He's had some difficult matchups in the pick and roll against some of these teams. The Lakers are a difficult team in terms of the pick and roll. Boston is weak. Washington is weak. Memphis, similar as well. But yeah, the matchup is okay here for Jalen Green. He's going to see the volume. He'll see the minutes. That's the biggest thing. The lowest number of shots he's taken in a game since Jabari Smith has been out was this game where he took 21. That's the fewest shot attempt. Oh, no, it's the 18 in the most recent game. But in that most recent game against Memphis, he took a ton of free throws. So Jalen Green should definitely be able to cover this line in just volume alone. He should get a lot of shots in what I expect to be a high-scoring game. So I still like that. The other one is for Cam Whitmore. This is a bit of a sneaky one. And for Cam Whitmore, I'm looking at his 3-pointers made prop. So these are his games without Jabari Smith Jr. He is still seeing his 15 to 20 minutes that he normally does, but he's seeing volume. Like if you just look at his 3-point attempts in the games without Jabari Smith, 9, 5, 3, 6, 7. So seeing great volume there, covering this in 4 out of 5 games. The game we went under, 1 from 9 against the Boston Celtics. Up against the Denver Nuggets today that allow the 6th most 3-point attempts. They also allow the 3rd most points from spot-up shooting. I do like Cam Whitmore as a bit of a sneaky here. I did consider his points as well. He's averaging 12.2 points without Jabari Smith Jr. Getting real close. And like I said, has a really good matchup here. The Denver Nuggets are going to let him shoot some threes. I think Cam Whitmore can take some and make some. The reason why I didn't take a bet on Jalen Green or Cam Whitmore just yet is pretty much what I said earlier. I don't want to bet on both. I'm just still deciding, if I'm being honest with you. I might just wait until the morning, see what the market does. Cam Whitmore line might go down, might go up. Jalen Green's, I assume, are going to go up because the hit rate's fantastic. That's a very easy find. I honestly don't hate that bet. But the other thing I factored in is Amon Thompson. He's been playing pretty decent as well without Jabari Smith Jr. So he had the only game he was terrible was this game here, and that's the game where I bet on him. But he's been playing quite well. I think this is a good opportunity. I think Denver's one of the games, also the teams that when they're playing, there's usually a good chance to get some good bets off around them. I just haven't made a decision on where it's going to be. So I might bet on Jalen Green or Cam Whitmore. In my mind, I'm trying to battle that thing that tells me to just bet on both of them, mate. If you bet both of them, you can potentially win more money. That's the psychopath within me I'm trying to shut down. But yeah, they're the only leans that I really had. It's a massive slate. There's a couple of good games that are on. The problem is there's a lot of game time decisions. And after what happened with me betting on Kyrie today, I feel like an absolute idiot for doing that. I don't want to do that again. So not betting on anyone who could be impacted by a game time decision or lineup changes and stuff like that. I'll probably wait till the morning or wait till closer to the game time when lineups are concrete and solidified. Then I might make more decision from there. But that's all I've got for you, gang. I'm sure you can tell by the way that I sound. I am tired as hell. This has been a grind and a half. Work's been kicking my ass. Late nights, early mornings. I'm just going to get some rest. So I'm going to chop this up, edit it, upload it, get it out to you guys. Wish you all the best of luck. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Sub to the channel cause your boy's getting busy. Coming to you live from the west side of Sydney. We've got the free picks and the juice on the daily. It's all free, you don't even have to pay me.